So a couple days ago, the news came out that there's going to be a Mandalorian movie directed by John Favreau with Dave Filoni, of course, being involved in creative. And with this video, I want to give my thoughts on the obvious questions. Do I think it's a good move or a bad move? And am I excited for it? I haven't uploaded at all on either of my channels except for a couple of short streams at all this year because I'm kind of taking a little bit of a break. So this is my first video back, but I'm still, not I'm still not back fully because I was gonna watch Echo. I didn't get around to it. I didn't even see What If. Like, I'm so behind on things, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna watch these things, to be honest with you, because I'm kind of in a different headspace right now. But I am enjoying my little break. But I'm happy to be back for you guys. So first of all, is this a good move? Doing The Mandalorian as a movie? And I think the answer is yes, and I'll tell you why. I think that unlike a lot of other people in the Star Wars production department, Favreau and Filoni have good faith with more Star Wars fans than anybody else, including Abrams, Rian Johnson, including Kathleen Kennedy, and the director of the upcoming Rey movie, who's been under fire for the comments she made last week. Or a couple weeks ago. I do think that John Favreau, I think it was last week. Anyways, John Favreau absolutely positively has way more good faith, even though Mandalorian season 3 left a lot to be desired. Seasons 1 and 2, I think, are enough for people to say, okay, well, what's he going to do on the big screen? Also, John Favreau is tremendously experienced. The dude's been around for a long time. He's made a lot of different films. Most fans will remember him as making Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. He's made other movies too. It's just that people in the comic book genre nerd sphere will recognize those movies. And Iron Man 1 is still regarded as one of the best MCU movies ever made. So the guy's got the talent. And I think putting the team of Favreau and Filoni, who has done a lot of good things, not everything's been good, but a lot of good things for Lucasfilm, I think is a good move by Kathleen Kennedy. We can sit here and criticize her for all her mistakes, and she's made a ton of them. But this is a very good move, especially ahead of the news about the Rey movie. I think, and now I'm not sure if the Mandalorian movie is the same thing as the Filoni project. I don't think they're the same thing. I think that Filoni's movie is supposed to be the big Avengers level event where they finally finish off Thrawn. I'm not sure if the Mando movie is that, although the Mando movie could logically take us into the Filoni movie, if done properly. Now, am I excited? To be honest with you, I am, and I'm going to tell you why. The problem with Mandalorian Season 3, when you really break it down, it wasn't so much the story, because Bo-Katan and Din Djarin wanted to reclaim, Mandalore for themselves and for the Mandalorian people. That's all, logical storytelling. That's all character stuff that makes sense. The problem with Season 3, if you really think about it, is that there were a lot of episodes that were kind of a waste of time, and a lot of episodes that I would call filler. They took sequences and stories that could have been done in a 20-minute segment and stretched it out to like a 45-minute or 60-minute episode. Something around there. It wasn't exactly 60 minutes, but they stretched things out. With a movie, you've got 2 hours or 2.5 hours, give or take, to tell a tight story, to basically not have that much or any filler. It gives you a great opportunity to do that. Your script has to be much more focused, and the people behind it have to really look at it. And at that point, if you do have too much stuff, you can always shave off some scenes, delete them, throw them on the home video release, the Blu-ray, the 4K of the movie, and away we go. It's just better. It's just better as far as removing filler from the story. Now, Filoni, from what we understand, does not really have that much experience writing theatrical movies, but that's okay, because if Favreau is there, this is where the collaboration comes together. Favreau can help put the script together. Filoni can act like a lore master, kind of like what happened in the 80s with George Lucas and his directors, Richard Marquardt and Irvin Kershner. You know, Irvin Kershner was, and obviously him and Lucas did butt heads a couple times, but they put together a great film. And Kershner was like Lucas's, as far as I remember, he was like his mentor at one point. So Lucas wanted him to direct the film. Now, in this situation, it's a little bit different because Favreau does have way more experience than Filoni. But that's okay because if Filoni acts as like the lore master, he should be the guy. Filoni should be the guy that Abrams and Rian Johnson, that those guys talk to before making their movies. Instead of just giving them complete creative control, if Filoni had been the head creative guy like he is now when he got promoted a couple months ago, that would have been the right move because I feel like Filoni would have been smart enough to say, you know, maybe we shouldn't do that with Luke Skywalker, or if we're gonna do that, let's do it this way instead. You know, I think that somebody who actually understands Star Wars, not Kathleen Kennedy, who approved everything Rian Johnson did, but somebody who actually understands Star Wars could have put their foot down and said, listen, I know what you're trying to do, but we can't do this to Luke Skywalker. We can't do this to these characters. That is what Filoni's job is. And I've been one of the guys who have said, look, I'm not saying Filoni's perfect, bro, but he's the most qualified guy to really guide Star Wars in the future. I've been saying, who else is he going to be? You know, outside of grabbing a fan, like, you know, like a fan like one of us, who else is it going to be except for Filoni, who has produced quality Star Wars alongside George Lucas as far as television goes. And remember, Lucas at the time, it was reversed. He didn't really have that much experience doing television. He was a movie filmmaker. So everyone's learning here. Everyone's learning here. So I think if Star Wars is going back into movie theaters, this is the way, no pun intended. This is something they need to do, something they should do, something that they really, it's the right move. Don't start with this damn Rey movie. This is not, and I've said this a bunch of times, I'm not against the idea of them doing a Rey movie. I know some of y'all won't agree with me. I think doing a movie after Rise of Skywalker is inevitable, but it needs to have a good story. We have to actually enjoy the movie and enjoy Rey's character, which was very hard to do in the sequel trilogy. But if you're gonna reacclimate fans to going to the movie theater to go see a Star Wars movie, a Mandalorian movie starring Mando and Grogu is the right move. And I stand by that. I gotta give them credit for it. And I hope that it is a good movie with those in charge. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below.